Last segment of the week, we have Douglas Schofield, or you could call him Doug Schofield, joining us on the show. He has written a book called Time of Departure. Let's throw to the visual. There it is. This is not his first book. I believe it might be your third.
It is my third published book, that's right.
Third published book, and it's a fiction, and it's a mystery of sorts. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes, now you used to be a Crown prosecutor here in town.
I did.
Up until '85.
That's right.
And then you started writing books.
Well, actually, I left here and went to live in Bermuda as a Crown prosecutor.
Oh, really?
And I started that book there. That's what, 30 years ago?
And then you just picked up and finished it?
I finished it a lot later than I finished my other books. It was sort of an outline that I put aside. And I came back to it years later, as you can see.
So you obviously have drawn a lot of your information from these books, from your real-life experiences a little bit?
I have, to some degree, yes.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
What is it like being a Crown prosecutor in Bermuda?
The only difference to our courts is that although we're gowned, we're also wigged.
Are you?
Yeah.
You should have worn one for the show.
I had to find a wig. I mean, who has a wig? We haven't had wigs in Canada since 1921.
And they still do there?
Bermuda and the Cayman Islands, where I live now.
Amazing.
So I had to find a wig, and I got very lucky. I met a lawyer who had only worn his wig once to be called to the bar. And then he sold it to me for $50. They're worth about £1,000 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have never thought that or known that. So let's talk about these books. You've written two other ones, Flight Risks and Succession. And this is the third one, even though you started it a long time ago, you finished it now. It's about a lady by the name of Claire Talbot. She's in charge of the state attorney's felony division in Florida, I believe.
That's right, Gainesville, Florida. Gainesville,
Florida. And she's put in charge of a case after a body is found on a highway project. A body's found buried, is that right?
That's right.
Let's hear a little bit more about that.
There's only so far I can go with that.
I know, or we'll give it all away.
Yeah, it's one of these stories that turns in a dramatic way about halfway through the book. The bottom falls out of her life, but you don't see it coming. I suppose I've given that away now, but
that's
at least as we don't say what it is, right?
Right. One of the ways it's described on the back of the book is the fictional equivalent of a carefully crafted set of Chinese boxes.
Yeah, that was written by an author, actually a novelist who lives in Florida, who's written a whole series of mysteries himself. And he was quite engaged by it. We talked about it. He called me. Yeah, and then he also recommended me to his agents in New York.
Nice.
And that opened the doors in America because I only had publication in England up till then.
Right. Yeah. Wow, good for you. Yeah. These three books that you've written, they're all fictional, but are they all connected or are they completely separate from each other?
No, they're all what they call standalones.
Okay.
And my next one comes out in November. It's called Storm Rising. I didn't actually come up with a title. I had a different title, but the editor wanted this title. It'll be released in November, and that one will come out in softcover in November. And then my next one I've just signed a contract for, and I'm working on that now, and that is going to be #1 in a series that I'm planning.
Fantastic.
So my fifth book will be #1 in a series.
Do you enjoy writing books more, or do you think you enjoy being a Crown prosecutor more?
Oh, I'd rather write novels.
Is that right?
Yeah. If somebody said you can do this for a living for the rest of your life, I would say goodbye to the law. I've been a lawyer for a long time, and it gets old.
Are you practicing even now?
Yeah, I'm the legal advisor to the Commissioner of Police in the Cayman Islands.
Really? That sounds important.
Well, the good thing about it is that it's part-time.
And it's the Grand Caymans, come on.
Yeah, right. Well, there are palm trees and beaches.
Right.
But we spend most of our time in air-conditioned premises. Yeah, so it's a good job in that sense, that I can set my own hours to a certain degree, which gives me more time to write. So I'm working on #5, but that's #3.
Good for you. And then you come all the way back to Kamloops. So again, you used to work here as a Crown prosecutor, but that wrapped up in '85.
That's right.
What brings you back here then?
I have friends here that are still here, and we've stayed in touch all these years. So we're having sort of a little reunion tonight, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you're having a book signing tomorrow at Chapters.
That's right. That's right.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
So people can come and meet you.
I'd love to meet anyone who's interested.
Maybe you'll have some old neighbors show up that you haven't seen for a while.
Yeah, that worries me a little.
No.
Because I might not recognize them.
Weren't you a good neighbor?
Yeah, no, I'm afraid I won't recognize someone.
Right. Well, that happens, right?
Yeah.
Quickly, I know we only have about a minute left. What were some of the big cases you worked on here in the 80s?
I worked on the Shearing case. Do you remember that?
Yes, David Shearing, Clearwater.
I worked on Sunset Auto. That was actually my case.
Don't know about it.
It was quite a complicated case involving an auto wrecking place here where they were stealing cars to order and bringing them to the auto wrecker who would break them up for parts.
Interesting.
It was a very interesting case. We worked with Calgary police than the Mounties, and it was a good case.
Did you see the David Shearing case through to the end?
No, actually my boss, R.C. Hunter, took over the file when it was ready for trial. And then he managed to organize a guilty plea. Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, we are glad to have you here. And welcome back to Kamloops. I hope they have a good reunion tonight and a good book signing tomorrow. If you would like to meet Doug Schofield, you certainly can. He's going to be at Chapters tomorrow from 1 o'clock onwards for a little bit. The cover of your book is very attractive, nice colors. If you would like to pick this up, I'm assuming you can pick up a copy at Chapters tomorrow as well. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Very welcome, yes.